Hello guys, welcome back. Alright, today I want to be talking about one of my all-time favourite consoles. And to be honest, they're all my all-time favourite consoles to be honest, but yeah, this bad boy, the PlayStation. Whoa, and I want to go over my first experience, my very first PlayStation. The games I got, the games I rented, the games I borrowed, they're all in there, and well, you know, it's an interesting one. So as you can see, I've got quite a few to go through, so let's have a look at my first experience with a PlayStation. Alright, so first off, I had a friend that turned around to me, he turned around to me and says, I had a SNES and a Mega Drive back in the days, and he said, my friend's got a PlayStation, the new Sony PlayStation. Now, I've seen some of the adverts, they were fantastic, the graphics were arcade quality, absolutely brilliant. Very good console indeed. 3D graphics, great sound, CD quality sound. This was an arcade machine in your home, but it was extremely expensive. So we went round one day to his house and he started to show me some of the games he'd got. Now we sat down and started playing. We got things like Worms and Crazy Ivan, but then he said he's got the new Street Fighter. Now I was a little familiar with this one. I was a big Street Fighter fan as well, but he's got Street Fighter Alpha. I was like, I've seen a few screenshots of this. This sounds pretty good. And I knew it was pre-Street Fighter 2. It was back in the days when Ken and Ryu were first starting up. And he turned it on, gave me the joypad, and we started playing it. And my jaw dropped to the ground. I saw this, I played this, and I was in awe. I thought it was absolutely amazing. It was arcade quality. I could not believe it. I was like, wow. This reminds me of playing at arcade in my home. This is fantastic. I remember seeing it on a CRT screen TV, big screen as well. And I think we played it for the rest of the afternoon. I played Ken and just all the moves were in there. And it's also got the shadow moves. I was like, how do you do the shadow moves? Told me how to do it once, boom, that was it. I was sold. And I then, since then, wanted my own PlayStation. Now, could I afford it? Probably not. They were quite expensive, but luckily, you know, I was working. I remember going home that night and thinking to myself, I've got a new focus now. I am aiming to get the PlayStation. That is what I'm going to get. I'm aiming to get myself a PlayStation, and I want Street Fighter Alpha. So a few months later, I ended up getting myself a PlayStation. I remember going into town. I'd saved up the money, going into town, and I went to a place called Curry's. Back here, it's a electronic store. Sold washing machines, computers, it sold hi-fis, TVs, all that sort of thing. Yeah, Curry's back then, wow. And they'd got a PlayStation, $199.99, and they had a few games on there, and one of them was Street Fighter Alpha for $49.99. I was like, well, yeah, back then, you know, you think prices have changed? No, yeah, you still get, you know, a PlayStation 1 game for $49.99. Memory card, $24.99, yes. They didn't come in with built-in memory. We got ourselves you had to buy memory for this one. So I remember going home, being the happiest person on this planet, and playing, or unboxing, should we say, the PlayStation. Now I remember getting out of the box, looking at it and thought, wow, this does look like a really, really silky, smooth, spot-on console. It looked space age. It was fantastic. And the first thing I did notice was it played ordinary CD, so it was a CD player. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe that. I did not know it played CDs. Yeah, I didn't do my homework much on it. I just knew it played games. So playing CD games, wow, this machine was even better. But then another thing is there was another disc in the box, and it was a demo disc. I was like, you mean I get to play some demos? Wow. So before actually opening Street Fighter, I sat down and I put the demo disc in, and I remember a couple of the demos on there that I was like, wow, I want to play these games. So the first demo that I remember playing was Tekken 1. Well, I tell a lie, I wasn't playing it. It was a rolling demo. So Tekken, yeah. And I just watched them play. It wasn't real-time graphics. It was videoed, so you could tell it had been videoed. But we should sit there and watch it. You hear the music, you hear the sound. This was absolutely quality. I was like, wow, look at that. I remember Jack fighting. I remember watching Paul doing his special moves, watching it in the snowy area. I thought, oh wow, this is brilliant. But Tekken, I thought to myself, you know what, that's one of the games I am going to get. I'm going to save up next and get that. So yeah, Tekken sold me on that one. The next game I saw on the demo disc was Battle Arena Toshinden. Yeah, wow. What a game. This was another 3D game, but this was playable this time. You only had two characters, was it Sophie and EG? And I straight away, let's pick EG. He's got a big sword, he's got a white and a red like uniform. I was like, yeah. And it was Tekken, but with swords. Okay, nowhere near as good, but that didn't stop me playing it. And I remember loading this one up and listening to the CD quality. Now, straight away, what stood out to me was the first tune, or EG's level. That soundtrack is still to this day awesome. I still love it. But anyway, true 3D because you could like skip around each other. And this one, I was like, yeah, not bad at all. It should be on my radar. Probably not in my top 10, but I did like it and I did enjoy playing this one. The next one on the disc I saw was, now this one was a really good one actually. And I remember seeing this one, Wipeout. Wipeout, wow. I remember it was so popular because it had the Prodigy background. Now I probably won't be able to play you the soundtrack because it's probably copyrighted, but I remember playing this game and boy, wow, what a game. Actually, I think the Prodigy one was in the number 2, Wipeout 2. I think this one just didn't have that Prodigy one. Either way, I just remember playing Wipeout. First level, playing what is. I couldn't do it that good. I wasn't that good at it because I just kept crashing aside. But it was a really good game, futuristic racer, and absolutely fantastic. I did like this one. It was in my list to get. Next one, I remember playing on a demo, Jumping Flash. Now, it got the first level in this, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell is this game? You're a giant rabbit. No, this does not appeal to me. Anyway, you know when you've got time on your hands and you know, all right, I'll give it a try and start playing it. And boy, I was hooked. It's a platform style in 3D view. It works. And you've got a triple jump, and you find yourself these carrots around, 4 or 5 carrots that are around the land. Once you pick them up, the exit opens up. But in the meantime, you've got obstacles to jump over, the land to progress over, which was quite difficult on some stages. The music was pretty good as well, and you got yourself a few power-ups. And this one did really grow on me, and it grew on me fast. I did enjoy Jumping Flash, and I do recommend it. This is one of those hidden treasures if you've not played it. Jumping Flash is one of those games that it will grow on you. I recommend definitely giving this one a try. Then I saw a magazine, and the magazine was a Sony PlayStation magazine, and there was a demo for Fade to Black. Yeah, Fade to Black, and I thought this is the third in the series from Another World and Flashback. And I remember playing this one, and I thought, oh, I don't know, I didn't like the progress, how games turned into 3D. I didn't like it, but this one actually grew me, and I did think it was quite scary at some stages. And I did like the puzzle solving. It's not the greatest, but you know what? If you find a cheap copy, I do recommend getting it. Definitely give this one a try. If you do see it for cheaper, yeah, it's your usual 3D style. You've got to shoot the lasers to open the doors. You've got to solve puzzles to get you to the next part. You've got Martians or monsters, call them what you want, that'll come and get you. If they spot you, they'll alert the alarms, and the alarms create more monsters coming to get you. And it's that kind of style game, third person, bit like not Resident Evil 4, but third person style. Yeah, I did find it a bit clunky in certain areas, but that aside, this one I do recommend as well. I think this is probably another one of those goes under the radar kind of games. So they were the demos I played. So then, like I said, I actually purchased Street Fighter Alpha. Now, I remember getting this out of the box, looking and reading this all the way home, the instructions, and looking at all the moves from each of the characters, and I was like, yes, I am going to learn and play every one of these characters. I'm looking forward to. They were very similar to Street Fighter 2 with your fireball and hook and kick with Ryu, but then they've got super combos, and I was like, wow. And I remember seeing as well, what's this, the alpha counter? So if someone hits you and you've got a certain amount of power in your level power gauge, you can alpha combo them. or alpha counter then should we say, and it gives you a second chance. I was like, oh, awesome. But the graphics, very cartoon style. They'd upped the music on each of the characters. And I was like, oh, what's this guy, Charlie? Who's this supposed to be? Oh, this is Charlie's or Guile's friend that Bison killed. Oh, they brought him back in. Yes, that turned out to be one of my favourite guys. He's pretty much the same moves and techniques as Guile. If you like Guile and you've never played Charlie, I think everyone else. Then we've got Guy and Bernie. Yeah, this was a quality game. I played it and played it and played it. I didn't put it down. I burnt my thumbs and burnt it out and practiced on every character and managed to finish it. 1 credit on hardest level. I think it's 8 stars or 7 stars. I think it was 8 stars because it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that I did love. Now, the next game I saved up for, a bit disappointed on this one, was, well, I thought I liked him, but Street Fighter Alpha 2. Now, I got this one. I remember going to HMV and buying this, $39 or $49.99. I saved my money up. I remember getting it, opening it up, and looking at it. I was like, yes, this is really good. I've got Street Fighter Alpha 2. I can play all them extra characters. Now then, I remember plugging it in and loading it up, and straight away, my jaw dropped. Not because I was excited, because I was so disappointed. The intro was video. They'd videoed it. It wasn't real-time intro. It was a video footage of the intro itself. I was like, what the hell's going off here? You can already do this, Sony. Come on. Capcom, what are you doing? This PlayStation is capable of doing this and you've just fluffed it up. And then I was playing it, and the music as well. It was all the arranged. It wasn't none of the original music, and this one really got me annoyed. And also I noticed the sound effects as well, or when choosing options was really loud compared to the music, and I didn't think there was a way of turning it down. It was just so annoying, and unfortunately it just put me completely off of Street Fighter Alpha 2. I was not impressed, so I ended up taking it back and exchanging it over. Now, I did see a game. It was another fighting game. This time it was a 3D fighting game, and on the front it said, from the creators of Resident Evil. It was Star Gladiator. Some people are saying I'm mad because I took Street Fighter Alpha 2 back and got Star Gladiator. But then, you know what? I thought it was a good swap. I did enjoy playing this one. You've got your 3D characters. It's similar to, it's like futuristic Tekken or futuristic Soul Blade. You've got your main character. Oh, and the actual bad guy in this one looks very similar to Darth Vader. But it was Capcom. I'd never been let down. And lots of characters to choose from. You've got Hayato as your main character. Looks like he's got a lightsaber, and it even sounds like a lightsaber when playing it. But you've got Vector, Zelkin, Rungal, with all the special moves in there. It was not bad. I did enjoy it. It wasn't the greatest, but it's back in my collection, so I must think of something great. But yeah, I actually got rid of Street Fighter Alpha 2 for Star Gladiator.
Ready, fight! Game all. Ready, fight!
Now this is where it gets interesting. A friend lent me a game. And he says, look, just try this one. Now, I said, you can have the console, I'm selling it. So he took it, but unfortunately he couldn't afford to pay me. So I took it back, and he'd borrowed a game from a friend of mine, or a friend of his. And he said, you might as well borrow it. And I was like, I'm not interested. This game, I've heard about it, I'm not interested at all. And I had a few hours on my time, and I thought I'll sit down and start to play it. And I've been playing it, and about 4 or 5 hours into it, I was like, okay, it's getting a little better. But I'd got a bit of time on my hands, so I just carried on playing it, and I was not that impressed. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is where the love for this series kicked off. So I actually got so far in the game, and you probably can guess it after I say this, but I'd got the first summon. And I was like, oh, what's this then? And, you probably guessed it now, but it's Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I know. But there was another save on the memory card that had been like, they'd spent 80 hours in it. So what I did was I did a bit of cheating. I went onto the memory card, hit the other saves, and had a look at all the summons you could get. And I remember, I thought I'd start playing it and check out all the summons. I remember for the first time, I was like, oh, what's this one? Let's summon this guy. And it was Bahamut. This is where I was sold. I was like, wow. I never remember this, but let's summon this guy. So Cloud jumps up, summons Bahamut. This giant dragon comes flying down, opens his wings, and puts a laser beam on everything on the ground. And I was sold. Instantly, I turned that save off, turned the machine off, went back on, and went back onto my saves, started playing my game again. And that's when I was addicted. I said, right, I'm getting to that level. I want that dragon. I want that, whatever it's called, Bahamut, Bahamut, whatever you want to call him. And I forced myself to play that game until I got all them summons. And that's when I became a massive fan of Final Fantasy VII. So, after that, I got a friend. He'd got a PlayStation, modded it. So it played cockpit games. And we could play Japanese games, American games on his PlayStation. Yeah, it was awesome. Now there was a downside. He had two games. He showed me one. He says, I've got Tekken 2. Now Tekken 2 hadn't even come out here in the UK yet. So he said, do you want to play it? So we plugged it in and started playing it on his little portable CRT TV. Now one thing is, back then I didn't understand, I do now, but what I didn't tell you is, it came up in black and white. Yes, this is how it looked to me. Tekken 2 in black and white. I was like, oh, alright, fair enough. I thought it was broken, but no, because it was NTSC over PAL, it shows you differently. But anyway, my console wouldn't play it, but we played it all afternoon on Tekken. Me and my friend playing Tekken 2 all afternoon. We got used to the characters. We did enjoy this one, but as you can see, yeah, played it in black and white. It's kind of a bit of a letdown, but I didn't care. But Tekken 2, wow, come on, let's face it, it's an absolute quality game. Then he showed me the other one, and he says, oh, I've just got this new game coming. It's by Namco. It's another fighting game. You probably guessed it by now. Yes, it's Soul Blade. Now, the intro to this was just fantastic. Once again, it's Tekken, but with weapons. I did enjoy playing this one as well. Very similar to Tekken, and you could tell where they were going with both of these franchises. They were gonna. You could tell they were taking advantage of the PlayStation and 3D quality graphics. Absolutely amazing. This looked like the arcade, playing it in your home, and no wonder the PlayStation sold really well. But with playing Soul Blade, everything's there. Yeah, there is a slight difference compared to the arcade, but you didn't care. You know, this was pretty much the arcade in your home and playing this game. The afternoons I spent playing this game and building all the characters up and learning how to get extra weapons and learning, because there's a bit of an RPG element in there. But this was an absolutely brilliant game, a big part of my childhood.
The grueling battle ended with the victory of Mitsurugi.
Then another friend had started buying games, and he says, look, you borrow this if you want. I remember him saying it's playing it on a Sunday afternoon. We brought his PlayStation round, and we all sat around and playing it, and he showed it me, and it was Tomb Raider. Oh yeah, Tomb Raider. Now, let's face it, I wasn't interested. Yeah, I know, I wasn't interested. But I did start seeing him play Tomb Raider, and it's something I did enjoy. It was nice to watch it, but playing it, I just couldn't get used to the. I still can't to this day, but I have played it all the free, and I do like to go back and play it every now and then, and it does bring back some memories. Another one he got, it was part of the Street Fighter collection, but this was a Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. This is just Tetris, but Capcom's version to it in a Street Fighter format. Now, I did find this one pretty good. It does get quite addictive, and you know, it's one of those games that if you love it or hate it, but a lot of people are like, yeah, you know, I do like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or sorry, Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. But yeah, that one is definitely one for your collection if you've not played it. Then he showed me, the gun games. Yes. Now it's another one by Namco. You can play it on your TV. You buy the gun, and it's Time Crisis. Oh, I remember playing this one. 2-player, 2 guns, shooting at the screen. Yeah, we did have a lot of fun. Many Sunday afternoons playing this one. You're like, you're in all this was the arcade again in your home. I did enjoy playing Time Crisis 2. You know, once you've got so far, you love to start it again and practice. It's one of those you will practice quite often. But yeah, Time Crisis speaks for itself. Fantastic game. Next one you've got, now this one he lent me as well, was Ridge Racer Revolution. Now I'd seen Ridge Racer. It was pretty much near arcade perfect. I think I say that a lot. But this one is Ridge Racer, but with a few extra levels and a few extra cars. And I remember playing this one to death because you can unlock Devil Jr. Once you've you cleared all the levels, level 1, 2, and 3, or hard, easy, medium, and hard. It unlocks Devil Jr. If you get it under a certain time, it unlocks Devil, and you get a bit further, you get Angel, which is like the fastest car, all the best stats. I probably couldn't show you on the footage because I haven't blasted it for a long time, so you're just gonna have to put it with standard footage of me playing Ridge Racer Revolution. But yeah, I did enjoy that one. It did show off what the PlayStation was capable of back then. Got another one he lent me, was Pandemonium. Wow, now Pandemonium, I didn't know much about this one at all. I remember playing it, and it was your 2.5D 2.5D platform style game. I did enjoy the music as well, especially from the first level. 2 choices: you've got Jester, or you've got I don't know what she is, but some kind of Joker. But each one's got a double jump and one's got a firepower. Now later on, you can gain the other weapons. So if you're playing one with a double jump, you can gain a firepower with an icon, or if you're playing the one with a firepower, you can eventually get double jump. This one, I think, goes under the radar. It is a bit of a hidden gem for the PlayStation. Now the next one he lent me, this was big at the time, on the PC, but when they finally released it for the PlayStation, it was probably one of the best. But Doom, yes, Doom, I remember playing this one. The music was different from the PC version, but it gave it far more atmosphere. It ran so smooth as well. And I remember playing this one and getting really deep into it, and enjoying this one. Now, I'd already played the Jaguar version and the SNES version, but this one, I did like. It was probably the smoothest version I've seen with music, so it beats the Jaguar. And you got a password save that you could move on to level 2 or level 3 or level 4 when you typed in the correct password. But yeah, Doom, come on, everyone's favourite, and it plays Doom. Then the last one he got, I remember it might have just gone into town. I just bought this game, 40 quid, it's just been released today. I was like, oh, okay, what is it then? And I went, oh, well, just give it a try. I was like, it told me, and I was like, oh, I'm not interested. And if you've been watching my channel, you'll find out my first experience about this one. I was just, why? It's a 2D game. Why do I want to play this game? I was not interested. And yes, I was stupid. I was a sucker. I was mental. I did get it. But it was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And he played it, and I wasn't too fussed. I didn't watch him play it much. I was like, I want to play Tomb Raider or Ridge Racer or Street Fighter Alpha or even maybe Doom. But not Castlevania. I don't want to be playing that. Why? It doesn't appeal to me. I know now, hence why I've got it. And by the way, it's one of my favourite games. Absolutely one of my favourites. Probably in the top 3 all-time favourite PlayStation games. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It speaks for itself. You don't need me to tell you. And finally, my last game I rented out, and I remember seeing this one, and I had a look, and it was Street Fighter Collection, yeah, Street Fighter Collection, the Street Fighter 2 Collection 2 and Street Fighter Collection. And I remember seeing it on the front cover and looking at the back. It was in my video cabinet, it did VHSs, and it was also renting out games. It's kind of like what we call Blockbuster now, or what it was, Blockbuster. And looking on the back, it had got Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Street Fighter Alpha 2 Dash. Now, bear in mind, if you think back to early in the video, I had a bad experience with Street Fighter Alpha 2. And I was like, well, you know what, I'll rent it. I think it was only like £2 for the weekend, or £4 or £5, not that much. And I thought, I will rent it and give it a try. And I remember loading it up, and it loaded up Street Fighter Alpha 2 straight away. And one thing that happened, it sold me. It got me back into it. And I'll tell you why. Because the intro was back to real time. It wasn't a video. They corrected everything that was crap about Street Fighter Alpha 2. They put the original music in there, the arranged music, and the intro was real time. Yes, finally. Thank you. You finally corrected what was wrong. And yeah, I'm glad they did. And they've got a few extras in there too, because you've got like Chun-Li's extra outfit. You've got Evil Ryu and Evil or Shin Akuma in there as well. They had corrected it. Thank you very much. By the way, this one is a pretty quality game as well. It's a great collection. If you've got a PlayStation and you're a Street Fighter fan, recommend getting this collection, Street Fighter Collection 1. It is definitely worth it. By the way, it is going up in price as well, so just keep your eye on it. Well, there you have it. That is my first experience with the PlayStation. I mean, I actually look back and I went through these games and I thought, I don't think my PlayStation experience was that strong. And looking at all them games, and looking at all them games now, these were everything I had. And yeah, that's a strong collection. And I mean, look at this beauty. Oh, it still stands up today. As it also doesn't. That looks sexy as hell. That looks sexy as hell. But yeah, to have just them games as a first experience, whether I borrowed them, I bought them, someone lent them to me, this was definitely one of my experiences that I can remember and do enjoy. Looking back, I was very lucky. I know some people didn't experience as much, but me, I was very, very lucky indeed. Good job that a lot of my friends back then had PlayStations. But there you have it, guys. So, my first experience with the PlayStation. Let me know your experience with the PlayStation. So leave a comment down below what you think. You know, what was the first game you ever played? And what's ones that let you down? Mine was Street Fighter Alpha 2. Looking back now, I've got it back in my collection, so it didn't let me down. But guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, do what you want to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.